Wow, Florida State goes down in Dublin versus Georgia Tech in conference game, that is. So that may factor in, it may hurt Florida State. They still have a chance to get to the conference championship game and win it and get a top 4 seed. So I'm not throwing them out yet. But what a game that was. 21-21, and then Georgia Tech kicks the walk-off field goal. They could have lost that game a couple of different times, and Florida State could have given Georgia Tech a bigger lead a couple of times in that game. Two teams that I think now probably are on the outside. Well, Florida State now on the outside looking at. Is it Florida State being that bad, or is Georgia Tech really stepped their game up in this past off season? I can't wait to see. Man, college football is back. We can dissect things, we can analyze, we can give our thoughts. But I wanted to do this last final Michigan is going to win the national title video before we start next week. And wow, I have my conference winners. Okay, so if you aren't watching every video like you're supposed to, I love how Uncle Lou says that on his channel, so I stole that right there, but like you're supposed to, then I'm going to dot some I's and cross some T's here for you in this one. Hopefully it'll be a short one. My predictions in a nutshell. Yes, the nut loses. All right. Yeah, the Buckeyes. If you didn't get it, that's the Buckeyes. All right. Conference championship winners and first round byes will be from the ACC. I had Florida State 11-2, beating Louisville in the conference title. The Big Ten, I had Michigan 12-1, revenge from Columbus, which I like to refer to as hell. They're Hades down there. We like to be more uplifting, player-driven, not monetary. The Big 12 winner will be Utah, and they will get the 3 seed, 12-1, and they will beat Kansas State. At the SEC, Georgia, 12-1, they will get revenge versus Alabama, much like Michigan will get revenge versus Ohio State in their conference championship game. And the G5 champion, ranked highest, is tricky, but I have Liberty from Conference USA going 12-1. They're not undefeated, so that could sneak in a team like Tulane, Memphis, Fresno State, Boise State. But they will be the 12th seed in my bracket. All right. Home games in the first round of the playoff. If you watch the live, and I struggled, I was like, what is at HFA? Well, HFA is home field advantage. Man, that was a fun night with my cousin Adam. Go watch that video if you haven't seen it live. That's when I did my predictions, but I'm putting them right here, no filler. Here we go. Let's go. Home field advantage goes to Notre Dame, the 5 seed versus Liberty. Notre Dame wins. The 6 seed, Alabama, gets home field over Oregon. 11-2 is Alabama. Oregon is 10-2. Oregon wins in Tuscaloosa. Be an epic game. Can't wait. All right. Number 7, Ohio State, 11-2 versus number 10, Texas A&M, 9-3. I think 9-3 Texas A&M gets in over a 10-2 Penn State or Iowa from the Big Ten because of the strength of record. But Ohio State wins this game. But Michigan is waiting for you again. And then the 8 seed Texas will go 10-2, and Ole Miss will be 10-2. Texas gets the home game and conference in the playoff. Texas wins this one. All right, those set up the Elite 8 of college football, and it would be Florida State versus Notre Dame. I thought Florida State got revenge on Notre Dame to advance to the Final Four. After seeing what they did versus Georgia Tech, I would change that, but I'm sticking with it. I'm telling you what my picks were, but I would change that right now. I would have Notre Dame winning that game. And then in the 1 versus 8 seed, you have Georgia versus Texas in a rematch. I think Georgia beats Texas twice. And then the 3 versus 10, you have Utah versus Oregon. Utah reminds Oregon who the best team in the Pac 12 was, and it was Oregon. Uh, Record wise over the past couple years, but it was Utah winning the title, and I think they beat Oregon. All right. And Michigan, the 2 seed, will face number 7, Ohio State, and this game will be in the Rose Bowl. That's right, in the quarterfinal. Wow. Michigan reminds Ohio State, who is the best, and wins 2 out of 3 matches this season versus them. That's right. The only loss for Michigan is in Columbus, but they win the 2 non neutral site games. The final 4 teams I have: Florida State, the 4 seed. Yeah, I had them getting that far, but I'm replacing them, remember, with Notre Dame now versus Georgia. But it doesn't matter. Georgia wins whoever uh, they play against. If they play Florida State or Notre Dame, doesn't matter. Georgia's going to win that game. And then number 3, Utah, 13-1 at this point versus number 2, Michigan, 13-1. Michigan wins this game. 2 similar teams. One has a better quarterback right now, I would say, but if Michigan can play their bully ball like I want them to, and they will, and Orgy learns to complete third down passes, which I think he will, Michigan will win this game, which will set up a rematch in the national title game of the last 2 national title winners. And a rematch from 3 years ago where Georgia blew the doors off Michigan. Remember, Michigan started the wrong quarterback in that game. I had my pitchfork and my torch, and I said, come on, put JJ in for this national title game versus Georgia. Cade is not going to be able to do it. And what do you know? They put him in, but way too late. He scored the only 11 points for Michigan. And then we saw what he did the next year. And the next year, eventually winning a national title for the University of Michigan. So, the national title game will be a rematch of 14-1 Michigan, 14-1 Georgia from 3 years ago, and I think Michigan wins this time. We're not the same as what we were back then. We hold some grudges here in Michigan. Let's hope quarterback doesn't hold us back this time like it did the last time we played Georgia. They knew, just stop the run, force Cade to piss his pants, and they would win. And that's exactly what happened. Well, Michigan is doing that to people now. So Michigan is going to win again. It's funny how everyone just wrote Michigan off like they were a work expense. Just file that over there. We'll deal with that later. No, no. People forget that there were questions entering last year, too. Granted, they returned upperclassmen and a proven quarterback, but this year, more talent comes back not per your precious recruiting rankings, but I say development, people who have waited their turn. So, like I tell everybody, quarterback is a byproduct of a great offensive line, a great run game, and a great defense. Last season, leading to JJ throwing some key third downs. Orgy can do these same things, but more, because he is built like a brick shit house, and will be able to run more than JJ, plain and simple. To be honest, JJ looked scared to run it when it was wide open for him. He could have pulled it from the belly of the running back and went for miles. Sometimes he just let it go. I hope he recovers from his injury at Minnesota, the Minnesota Vikings, by the way. I'd love to see him tear it up in the NFL. He's good enough with a good enough team. orgy is too. Second, everyone says their production isn't good enough. I believe this pertains to the recruiting rankings people are talking about instead of development because Michigan never has the top class. But we are sure to create a culture that lets everyone play if they are good enough. Everyone gets a shot. It's a meritocracy. This creates depth naturally over time through competition. And what do you think we've been doing all off season? The other thing, Moore can't win. Only Harbaugh could win, and we cheated doing it. This is just stupid. Moore will be the first black head coach to win a national title here at the University of Michigan. Moore has been great in every role here at Michigan and wherever he's been. The guy's a winner. 3 straight Joe Moore awards. I'm giving it to him because we beat the team in the national title that won it last year. We proved that we earned a third one. Should have been. Also, yes, he only could coach on game day. Jim Harbaugh was there during the weeks, but 4-0 as an interim head coach for a national title team last year. The guy's been here 7 years. He's built into the system. He loves Michigan. Michigan has the blueprint also from just last year. We saw what won. We're going to try to duplicate it, and teams know we're going to try to duplicate it, so we will play off of that. If you're going to stop this, it's the same thing as last year. If you stop this, then we have this. If you stop that, we have that. And then, we're versatile. But yes, we want to run the ball first. Now, not to mention the players, all right? The blueprints here from last year and a lot of the players. And the coaching staff is great. Martindale will pick it up right where the defense left off. Michigan is here to stay as an integral part of elite college football, in my opinion, after winning the 2 national titles. Well, even before that, are we back? Why? How could you define us as not being back anyway? The win versus Texas in the Big House will be monumental this season because Michigan will even the score with them 1-1. I think they won in the Rose Bowl and on their way to a national title in the mid-2000s. Now we get our revenge here at home in the Big House. It'll be our 17th straight win. Then the wins versus USC and Washington will be great. Washington, 2 West Coast teams, but Washington is going to be a repeat of the national title game last year. And then it comes down to Oregon and Ohio State. Oregon at home, I think we will win, and that will be an epic springboard. I just have a feeling that Michigan at Ohio State in hell, it's not going to go our way for one reason or another. We make a mistake, they capitalize, they want it bad. But like I said, we're going to avenge our loss not once but twice to get Michigan to the 4th straight Big Ten win. Wins versus Ohio State twice. Then Utah in the semifinal will be huge. Georgia is the ultimate prize this season for Michigan. It's the ultimate prize every season for Michigan. I actually wished Georgia would have beat Alabama so we could play them instead of Alabama. But either way, both are elite, great programs. We beat Alabama, won the title. So for me, though, I want to even up the score with Georgia and in the national championship game. Really, Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, multiple others want to avenge their losses to Georgia from recent past failures. So, you get it. You get it. So Michigan's going to do that, and they're going to win the national title this year. What do you think in the comments down below, everybody? Thank you, everyone, for watching, and have a great day. But go blue.